Caching is great for improving the performance of your web page, but when you're making changes to your website, it can be one of the greatest impediments and even be frustrating depending on the build of your website. You'll see a lot of recommendations to use private browsing or incognito mode depending on the browser that you're using. Unfortunately, this doesn't always solve the caching issues that you may be having. In this video, we're using a Bitnami Drupal build. So we'll be talking about OPCache and PageSpeed caching. If we don't disable these, we'll never see the updates. It can be frustrating and lead to a wasted day of troubleshooting and head scratching. So what we're going to do is disable both of those so that we can verify the changes to our site. For PageSpeed, we'll use FileZilla File Manager to access the files to our site. Now your files may look a little bit different depending on your build, but in general, this is what the file path will look like. So in our site, we'll start at this opt folder, and we'll expand that out and go to Bitnami, since ours is a Bitnami build. Opening Bitnami, we see an Apache 2 folder right at the top. We need to open that. In this Apache 2 directory, we'll see a config folder spelled CONF. We'll need to open that up. And within that folder, we will find httpd.conf. We'll need to edit that file. So we'll go to View, Edit. Now we can scroll down or we can do a search for PageSpeed. We've scrolled down and we're looking for these two lines that say include conf pagespeed.conf and include conf pagespeedlibraries.conf. These two lines here will need to be commented out. So after we've commented that out, we'll hit Control S to save the file. And then we'll need to open FileZilla again, possibly, to finish editing that file. It should give you this alert if you're set up the same way that I am. Just hit yes, and that makes the file changes to the file. From there, we'll need to restart Apache. So we'll enter the path to our Apache 2 directory, and then we'll enter ctl scr ipt.sh and restart Apache. And then if everything went right, we should see it stop and start. Once all that is done, then PageSpeed should be disabled. Now we can move on to OPCache. And for clarity reasons, we'll go ahead and collapse all these directories and start from the top again. To disable OPCache, we'll need to make some changes in the php.ini file. To find that file, we'll start in Bitnami, PHP, and then the etc directory. Inside that directory, you'll find the php.ini file. We'll need to open that file so that we can edit it. Looking at this file can be a little intimidating, so we'll just do a search by hitting Control F and then entering opcache.enable and then find next. Now we can see right here that there's this line, determines if Zend OPCache is enabled, and then it runs right into opcache.enable equals 1. We're going to scroll down so you can see that a little bit easier. And we'll close that because it won't let us edit with that open. You want to make sure you don't confuse this one with the next line that says determines if Zend OPCache is enabled for the CLI version of PHP OPCache enable CLI equals 0. Ignore that one and change this one that runs into this first line here. That's opcache.enable equals 1 and not the next line that says PHP opcache.enable underscore CLI equals 0. Leave that one alone. So we'll take this one right here and we'll change that 1 to a 0. And then we'll just save and return to FileZilla and verify that our file is changed. And that applies the changes. After that, you can return to working on your site as normal. And to verify that your changes are being updated, you can open up your site in incognito mode and then just hit refresh. If everything worked here, then you should see the updated changes.